most amazing artists, and welcome back to art class. For the next 2 weeks, you are going to have a very simple op art or optical art project to work on, which I'm going to show you how to do it. You are going to need a piece of paper that you're going to hold vertically. You're going to need your hand. You're going to need a pencil to draw with. Probably would be helpful to have a Sharpie or a black marker to trace over it when you're done. I'm going to do the project with Sharpie so that you can see what I'm doing better. And you are also going to need a ruler or some sort of straight edge that you can use to make some straight lines. All right, so let's show you how to do this. Now, I did take my Fitbit, my watch, and my rings off just to make it easier to trace your hand. You don't really want any jewelry or anything on it. And I am going to trace my hand and my arm. Anything that is on the paper, I am going to trace. You're not just going to have your hand floating in the middle of the paper. You're going to draw everything that's on it. So I'm going to shift to the other side of my paper. And I am going to hold my hand right in the middle of my paper like so. And I'm going to trace everything. Like that. So that I have my full hand and my arm right there on my paper. And now I'm going to use my ruler and my marker to add some lines, and then we'll move on to the color part of this project. So one of the first things that you're going to do with your ruler is you are going to use your ruler to create a series of straight lines in the background of your picture. You're not drawing anything on the hand yet. That you're actually going to do when you are done. So I'm going to take my ruler and my marker again. And I'm going to do a series of horizontal lines starting from the top, going down, only in the background, the area behind my hand. So I'm going to hold my ruler, make sure it's nice and even with the top of my paper. Don't have it like on a tilt or anything. Make sure, it's decent. And I'm going to draw a line that goes across. Now, if I come to a part of my hand, I'm going to make sure that I do not go through it and go across like that. And I'm going to keep doing that going all the way down. Now, you don't have to do specific spacing with the lines. You could just, make them up as you go. But if you really want to, if you want to take your ruler and measure out different spaces and make them all the same, that's fine too. But you really don't have to. I'm not going to be that picky with that. So I'm going to do this going all the way down my paper. Okay, and that's my background. Now I'm actually going to move a little closer to you guys for this part. So as you can see, there we go, that's better. Hi. So as you can see, I have straight horizontal lines going across the background of my paper. Now here comes the part where we're going to create a little bit of an illusion, and we are going to curve these lines where they touch your hand. So for example, if I start at the bottom here, it hits my wrist. I'm going to go where this hits here, and I'm going to make a curved line that goes to that one. And I'm going to repeat that same thing right here. Curve. Curve. All right, it's pretty easy for the bottom half of the hand, and you're going to see it almost looks like as if it was a whole bunch of straight lines. And when I put my hand up the paper, it's kind of like the same effect where if you ever put your hands underneath a blanket, right, and the blanket rises where your hand is. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Now it's going to get a little trickier on the finger part. So for example, this little thumb part right here. Okay, just do that little part there. This part here. All right, and just kind of make your way through finger to finger. Find where those lines meet up. Most of them should be about the same. Now this little guy right here, since it kind of cuts through here, I'm actually going to jump from finger to finger to finger. That just happens to be the way that it fell. So if something happens like that to you, you can do that. And now the interesting part is that this little guy up here, I'm not going to draw a tiny little line right here. I could actually just leave it be the way that it is. So I'm going to have all my curves like that. And now comes the fun part where you can do some coloring. So I'm gonna add a little color to mine, and then I will jump back and show you what I did. To color, you can use any coloring supplies that you have at home. Crayons, markers, colored pencils. If you use thick enough paper and you wanna do a little bit of paint or watercolor paint, go for it. Honestly, you could use anything that you have at home that can give you color. So I'm gonna add a little bit of mine and we will see how it turns out. So you can see that I've been working on coloring my hand. I haven't quite finished it yet, but that's because I wanted to show you my process. So originally I was going to make my entire hand purple and yellow stripes. My stripes are probably a little bit big for that, so I've been experimenting with putting a pink in here. I was going to do a green next. So you can really play around with colors however you want. I am going to post some pictures along in the lesson with it. And even if you Google optical hand art, you'll see lots of different examples. But I encourage you to use different colors. I think the lighter colors are a little bit better because you'll definitely be able to see the outline of your hand. And just play around with it and maybe do different things. I tried to do a pattern with 2 different colors. It turns out actually changing it up and having more colors might be better for me. But I just wanted to take a second just to show you my process and how, even though I may have started with one general plan of how I wanted to do this project, as I was going, I discovered how I wanted to change it. Part of this may also have to do with the fact that I've chosen to use marker. Color pencil or crayon may have been a little bit better to achieve what I was looking for. So that's a little something that I've learned. So yeah, so when you're doing your colors, play around with it a little bit. Make it multicolored. It doesn't have to be a pattern. It could literally just be a mishmash of random colors, and just see what you come up with. So once you're done, make sure you color everything in. Make sure you take a picture of your completed artwork and send it to me so that I can see it and give you a grade. And I can't wait to see what your art hands look like. Remember, you're gonna have 2 weeks to work on this project, so you're gonna have a little extra time. Take your time, have fun with it, maybe do more than one, see which one you like better. And I can't wait to see your amazing optical hand art. And I'll see you guys next time for art. Bye.